Thank you. So today we have actually two guests. Only one of them is going to come up here. I'd like to introduce Kelly Martin. Kelsey, we did it earlier. Kelsey, trying to keep them all straight. Kelsey, she's the go-to person to contact if you have questions about what's going on at the Civic Center. She actually joined the team in 2018. At that time, she was handling things like social media, graphic design, and since then, she has moved up in the ranks and she is now the marketing manager. And she ties in all the experience of doing the marketing and then also working with show promoters and trying to really get the message of the Peoria Civic Center out to the community. So we've invited her here today to talk to us a little bit about how they've transitioned through the pandemic, what's next, and some of the great things that are on the horizon for the Peoria Civic Center. So please welcome Kelsey.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me here today. We'd love any opportunity to brag on the Civic Center, and especially with everything we've gone through in the last 2 years, which I'm sure, as you all know, it's been a lot. So we're so excited to have people back in our doors and to be able to have events and to be able to share them with people like yourselves. So I'd like to just kind of run through a little overview of what's been going on since March of 2020, kind of give you an idea of some of the grants, and also kind of show you what's coming. So we're excited to share. So, in 2020, obviously, the world changed dramatically. Because of that, we had to stop our event, and for about a few months, we actually did a number of staffing cuts, and we at one point were down to 6 people on our staff. So that was very difficult to have not very many people in the building, but to keep it running. You know, there's a lot of issues that can go wrong, plumbing, electrical, any of those things. So the staff that was there was had a hard job to be there all by yourself and to make sure everything is safe and secure. During that time, as we slowly started to bring people back later in 2020, we made a lot of updates to the facility, painting, some new signage in the arena. If you visit us, we have some, they did a wonderful job painting the arena concourse, and then we have also renumbered our seating. So now we have a 100 and a 200 level to make it easier for people to find their seats, which people have found very helpful. During that time, we did have a few very limited basketball with no, and then towards the end of the season, when they were able to have 50 people in the building, they were able to invite some parents and things like that to see their children play, which was nice. And also a couple of like engineering exams, just very small private events like that. But obviously our concerts and comedians, Broadway, that all had to wait. We were able to reopen in July of 2021. We had the basketball tournament, which brought 16 different teams, and then people from all over the country. It was, I guess, on ESPN, so that was a great opportunity for us to showcase the facility and some of the updates that we did. And we also had the band Chicago in our theater, so it was a very busy weekend, and we were excited to finally open our doors back up to the public. And then through this fall and winter, we've really been picking up speed. We had the return of our Broadway season. We just had Beautiful on the 23rd and 24th of November. And Riverman back in Carver Arena, so they've been having great kickoff to their seasons. And then we've also had some other convention events. We have the farm show going right now, so they've been very pleased to be back in person, and it's great to see the parking lot full of all those pickup trucks again. And then also just a lot of other events in the theater, concerts, and comedians right now. So some of you may be wondering about some of the money that we've received to be able to do some of these updates. We were fortunate to receive a capital grant of approximately $25 million. Our board was able to identify over $40 million in renovations that need to be made to our facility. Obviously, we are 40 years old. There's a lot of things that go wrong with building of our size, and they just need to be maintained constantly. So they are prioritizing some of those projects, and that's what that money is being used for. Some of those include roof replacement, cooling towers, our hot water heater, parking lots, making some updates to our dressing rooms, and then also our glass arcade, which if you're familiar with, leaks quite often. So if you're there on a rainy day, better watch out, bring an umbrella. So we're hoping that these funds will be able to make some great improvements, and we can all enjoy the Civic Center for years to come. Another opportunity was able to grant, and this was able to we're so excited about. We just want to reminisce on the great 40 years that we've had while also looking ahead to the future, hopefully 40 more years and beyond. We would like you to save the date. We're having a joint Peoria and East Peoria Chamber of Commerce event on February 10th. So we're just inviting the public to come down. We're going to have some great slideshow and just kind of to look at the memories and all the great things that the Civic Center and the city of Peoria has had going on the last 40 years. We'd also would like to invite you to share your story with us. You can actually scan this code that's on here. We are trying to collect memories, history, any photos that anyone has of what the Civic Center has meant to them. Maybe you got married there or attended an event or went to your first Bradley basketball game or anything that might show how the Civic Center has impacted your life. We would love for you to share that with us so we can, show what a special place it is to everyone else. And then also, we'd like to recognize that the Farm Show, the Peoria Symphony Orchestra, Riverman and Bradley are all also celebrating 40 years with us in 2022 as well. So, like I said, the Farm Show is here right now. This is the last day of their show, and so this is their 40th anniversary as well. So it's just excited to be able to share that milestone with all of these other great tenants of our building and partners that we've had throughout the years. And then to highlight some of the other exciting things we have coming up, we will be welcoming the Peoria Ballet's The Nutcracker back again next week for their annual performance. And then we have a lot of other shows, both in the theater and arena, plus our convention space coming up in 2022, including some that aren't on there because just yesterday we announced Keith Urban, which we're very excited about in our arena. And we have a busy month of December still to come, so we probably have 4, 5, 6 new announces before the end of the year and even more in 2022. So if you are on our email list, you'll be getting a lot more emails from me with those. And then also just always keep an eye out on our social media for any other announcements that we have. Yes.
Sales.
Oh.
Curious. Asked for right now, I work for a hotel. Is there a way to get us dates of conventions? We need to know to help us budget. Because sometimes we have vendors come in. It just would be very helpful to be able to get your conventions.
Sure. We have started to share a monthly update to some of the local businesses, and we can make sure that the hotels are also included on that. So that right now that's just a 1 month ahead, but I can give you my card after this, and we'd be glad to talk through what would be helpful to you. Maybe we can send over that list so you can plan ahead.
Thank you for being with us today. A question, I'm a country music enthusiast,
Okay.
and I was excited about the Jason Aldean concert that was supposed to happen, I think, early November, and it was canceled suddenly.
Correct.
Maybe if you know anything, because that was, I felt as a fan and for the community itself, because there's a lot of stimulus that was going to bring in, just to understand maybe why that happened, how it happened. And he did 2 concerts in Missouri the next day or the next weekend, and Illinois got, we didn't get the performance here. So just maybe let me know, or I'm just curious as to what that process is, and hopefully there's an economic, I guess, some kind of recourse if someone cancels and it's not, wasn't the Civic Center's choice.
Sure. So in the case of that, obviously, you have the artists and their tour, you have the promoter, then you have our building, and then obviously the fans. So that's kind of the pipeline. And there's obviously a lot of other people that are involved in the decision making. So in the case of Jason Aldean, we were just notified that this concert was off. Unfortunately, we don't have any more details that we can share because there's obviously so much of the other decision-making process that we're not even involved in. So, and I understand we were very disappointed to see that as well. But obviously we've planned for our staff to be there. We've ordered in supplies, and then for a concert to cancel that short notice. Fortunately, that's not usually the case. And then obviously we're always trying to bring new entertainment. So as a country fan, hopefully you're excited about the Keith Urban announce, and we have more coming too. So there's no shortage of country, I promise.
So how do you guys come up with the different shows? Obviously, the touring acts as they're coming through the area. How do you narrow down which ones you want? And
goes into it. And luckily, I don't have that privilege of having to deal with all the agents and the booking. Our GM primarily does that, but it's kind of a combination. Sometimes we have an idea that an artist is going out on tour and we're like, yeah, we really want them. We think they would fit the demographics that's available here in Peoria, or there's an interest. Other times people contact us directly, like, hey, you've got a great facility, you're on our routing list, you know, we want to play a venue of your size. So there's just kind of, each show's it just kind of depends. Other times we get suggestions from the public and it's like, hey, that's something we should look into. So you're always welcome to, you know, reach out to us on social media or email our customer service, and we pass along all those suggestions to our booking team. So then they can reach out and see what's out there for us.
So I have a question, but it's more of a comment. As someone who did not grow up in Peoria, and split my time between a smaller town in Chicago, I just think the Civic Center is doing awesome things to bring really, really tremendous shows here, even more so than our neighbors in the Quad Cities are doing. They can't even compete with the caliber that you guys are doing. So thank you for what you do for our community to bring people here and to boost our economy.
So who's doing your catering and concessions?
Currently, that we're outsourcing that to Crack Pepper. Just with everything going on, it was just an easier way for us to be able to provide those services, and then also to benefit a local hospitality group that's in town with us.
Concessions as well?
No, concessions is still being done through Sabre in-house.